are you doing?
How are you today?
I'm doing great. Is now a good time for your interview?
Absolutely.
Okay, question number 1. What's your favorite color?
Black.
Black?
I like black.
Why?
I just think it's so universal. It goes with everything. Plus, it makes you look slim.
Absolutely. Okay, did you play any sports growing up?
I played tennis. I was a varsity tennis player, and I was a swimmer.
Oh, fun. And what's your favorite dessert?
My favorite dessert, I'm going to have to say gelato. So I'm slightly biased at this point, being the owner of Pop Bar.
Yeah, and talk about that a little bit. What in the world inspired that decision?
So I saw Pop Bar featured in an article on a blog post on a blog called Refinery 29 based out of New York City. And my initial reaction when I saw this article was, those look delicious. I have to eat one.
Yum, yum. What's your favorite flavor?
My favorite flavor is definitely...
All of them?
Yeah. I'm having
You're like, I've tasted all of them and they're great.
I'm having a hard time picking one. But probably the GN Dua, which is half hazelnut, half chocolate.
Oh my gosh, that sounds delish. So then you just decided, okay, I want to look into this, and it sounds interesting.
Well, it wasn't an overnight decision, definitely.
Yeah.
It took me about a year and a half, actually, to sign up for the franchise. So I definitely spent a lot of time doing my due diligence, but ultimately I felt it was a good business decision.
So how do you balance it all? I mean, you've got work, you've got the Pop Bar, you've got family obligations, and then you're a philanthropist. Give me like 3 or 4 tips to kind of managing everything and staying afloat.
I think, Myra, that I think quality of time is the most important thing. You know, I think setting aside quality time for each and every segment. You know, rather than worrying about the quantity of time you invest in each thing, worry about the quality of time you invest.
So what's one thing about you that would really surprise people?
I'm very sassy,
I
which would surprise a lot of people, but, especially in business. I think, you know, being sassy, you kind of get your way.
And that's an important thing in business for sure. What's one of your biggest pet peeves?
I think inauthentic people. People who want to show you who they are rather than just be who they are.
And who do you have to meet before you die?
I would say Barack Obama.
Should you be led by your feelings?
Yes, definitely. I think people need to learn their own feelings and own intuition, and I think that's very important.
So what taught you that lesson?
I think not being in touch with my feelings for so many years. I think not being in touch with my feelings and putting on a mask.
What were you afraid of?
Afraid that people wouldn't like the real me.
Which family member are you super close to and why?
Definitely my husband, because he's my best friend. And I know it's very cliche to say that, but he really is. Because first of all, I've known him since I was 17.
Oh my goodness.
And he's pretty much the only person I've ever dated. So I really feel like I've grown up with him.
Yeah, because my next question is it harder to be single or married? So your answer.
I can't answer that very effectively.
Right.
Because I didn't spend a large part of my life being single. So I would definitely say being married.
And so what's the most awesomest thing ever about being a mom?
I can't name one, honestly, because I think there's just a million things that are that awesome about being a mom.
So what's the worst thing about being a mom?
I think not having enough time.
And so for women that are considering having children or getting married, what piece of advice would you give them?
I would say...
That's tough, right?
It is very tough. Are you doing it for the right reason?
And what if the answer is, I'm doing it because it's what I want, I'm feeling a void in my life? What would you say to them?
People think that they have to meet certain milestones or fill certain voids. And then they come to cross that milestone and realize that that void is still not fulfilled.
What do you do to have fun?
Work.
And where were you born?
I was born in Bangalore, India.
Coffee or tea?
Tea. Definitely.
Chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry?
all of the above.
Steak or fish?
Both.
Warm or cold?
Warm.
And how do you know when it's time to give up on something?
When I think that you've become apathetic to it.
What are you afraid of?
Not fulfilling everything I need to in this life.
What do you do when you are tired, exhausted, cranky, and you just feel like giving up on everything and everyone?
I sleep like 18 hours straight. I've done it several times.
What is your favorite movie?
The Ugly Truth.
And what song just gets you up and moving?
Pretty much anything on the radio.
What's the hardest thing you've ever been through?
The death of my father.
And how do you keep a strong connection in your marriage, especially with the demands on your time?
I think coming back to quality of time versus quantity. And really, my husband being my best friend and the one go-to person that I can talk to about anything.
So what do you do when you and your husband get in a fight? How do you resolve the situation?
It's gotten better through the years, honestly. I think because we've grown up a little bit and we've both become more emotionally mature. I think that we actually fight a lot less now. And when we do fight, the fights are fair. It's not an unfair fight. So actually at this point, I would say it's better in terms of the fighting because I think we've both come to a perspective where we first take a step back and keep our own emotions in check.
I love that advice. Your words of encouragement and inspiration have been amazing today, and I cannot wait to see you on the panel on May 3rd at Match Theater. XOXO, Vanitha. See you later. Bye.